How's it going, everyone? It's Anago LX here. Today we're going to be doing another Kaiju number 8 video. Specifically, we're going to be talking about Kafka Habino, otherwise known as Kaiju number 8. Okay, now Kafka Habino is a tall man with dark brown spiky hair. He has large eyes and small irises, thin eyebrows, and a mild goatee on his chin. He sports a rather muscular frame except for his slightly pudgy belly. He usually has a jovial expression on his face. Working for the Monster Sweeper Incorporated, Kafka once regularly wore the company's uniform. It's a gray coverall with a red Monster Sweeper logo on the right side of the chest. Kafka's Kaiju form is mostly covered with coal black scales and plates, cyan energy sometimes growing from between those cracks, most noticeably when he's charging up powerful attacks. However, his head, spine, and clavicles appear to be made from exposed bone, resulting in these features being a contrasting white. Large plates with dorsal fins cover the back of his head and neck, as well as above his shoulders, the very top one being white. As for his head, it has been described as a demonic skull face with two short thick horns, a hole for a nose, and sharp exposed teeth. His eyes are black with cyan iris, seemingly originating from the several cracks, the left eye having several chunks of the mask missing on the lower left part. When Kafka's out of control, some of the Kaiju form features become more pronounced, such as general size relative to people, elongated horns, predominant dorsal plates, mouth opening beyond the skull-like mask, and eyes turning completely cyan. In terms of personality, Kafka has a comical, childish personality in most situations, resulting in him being an easy target for teasing by other characters. Despite being a determined and dedicated individual in serious situations, bringing him to try his best to do everything to succeed, whether individually or the betterment of the group. Habino is also a genuinely caring and kind person, long before he joined the Defense Force, resulting in him going out of his way to help others and care for others, regardless of if they want it or not. Some examples of this behavior is when Kafka offers solutions to inconveniences, saves people from imminent danger, and sometimes scolds them for not taking better care of themselves. It's for these reasons, Habino does everything he can to not disappoint or sadden those who have put their trust and belief in him. Having to break that connection in times of need causes him to become very insecure and unsure of what he'll be able to achieve in the future. Thus, when Kafka experiences losing control in his transformed body, the horror of seeing him become the very thing he hated since childhood concludes with him taking drastic actions to end the situation. Later on, the fear of losing control and hurting those he cares about prevents him from being able to use his Kaiju form, up until his friend Kikuru Shinomiya encouraged him to trust and have faith in his comrades and the Defense Force. Kafka seems to get annoyed when labeled as an old man, and always reminds the younger people of his condition of seniority when called names. When it comes to power and abilities, Kafka eventually learned to use his power on a more advanced level, allowing him to charge specific parts of his body without full transformation. Conversely, this allows him to outwardly appear completely human if he chooses so. Unfortunately, his Kaiju nature still remains, making it nearly impossible for Kafka to presently draw out beyond 1% of release power from the Defense Force combat suit he wears. Kafka's Kaiju form has a fortitude of 9.8, the highest fortitude level seen so far in the entire series, making him one of the powerful Kaiju to ever exist, also known as a Daikaiju. He's able to overpower the Kaiju rather easily, even those as powerful as base Kaiju number 9, who has a fortitude level of 8.5, without even tiring out. Kafka has shown so much dexterity in his new form that he could resist an onslaught from Vice Captain Shishodo Hoshina and disarm him without injuring him. Kafka's transformation appears to get the better of him sometimes, resulting in a raging Kaiju number 8. Kafka retains his individuality and sense of self when this occurs, leaving him hopelessly to watch his body rampage without his consent. Furthermore, Kafka's body, due to his age, can't take the full strength of his blows and will eventually be damaged whenever Kafka abuses his powers. Now when it comes to release force, comically, Kafka is the only defense troop member to ever release 0% of his combat suit's power, but fortunately for him, this increases to 1%. Now, Kafka also has Kaiju knowledge, and his time as a member of the disposal team gives him immense knowledge on the Kaiju anatomy, using it to identify the weakness and type of Kaijus that he's facing. Even when working with the Defense Force suit, from which Kafka can only draw 1% of his power, he's able to easily pierce through a Kaiju's corpse and dig into it to further study and localize the core. But after his body was invaded by a Kaiju, Kafka gained the ability to transform into an incredibly powerful humanoid Kaiju himself. In Kaiju form, Kafka gains immense physical strength to the point where he can even annihilate a Hanju with just a single punch. Kafka has also been able to use his strength to cover great distances in a few leaps. Even with only a part of his body transformed, Kafka could easily lift the company's car, making Kikuro Shinomiya believe he had his own Defense Force suit. His strength in his Kaiju form is said to be on par with Isao Shinomiya. Now, due to his exceptional thick skin, Kafka is extremely resilient to the point where he can tank shots and come out unscathed. He was able to survive and defeat the combined powers of Isao Shinomiya and Kaiju number 2. His pain resistance is so strong, he barely felt any pain when Shishido slashed him multiple times. Now, he also has immense speed and reflexes, where he is able to evade Shishido's extremely fast sword attacks with relative ease. Even not when fully transformed, Kafka has shown to be able to run at tremendous speeds, which impressed Shishido himself. Now, he also possesses an energy emission ability, where he's able to power up his body with an electrical-like energy that flows through his body and spine. He usually uses this to make some of his attacks more powerful. Now, Kafka has 2 energy emission abilities, the first one being an energy beam, where by concentrating the energy in his spine and opening his mouth, Kafka is able to release a powerful energy beam that can easily neutralize attacks from individuals as powerful as Kaiju number 9. His second energy emission ability is Energy Boost. Working in tandem with his shape-shifting powers, his energy manipulation can take form of energy flowing out of his body's pores like thrusters, enhancing strength and speed of his attacks. As mentioned before, Kafka has a shape-shifting ability where he can manipulate parts of his body, manifesting tentacles and even smaller heads and limbs on his body, and can turn his tongue into a long-range capturing weapon. He can use this power in conjunction with his energy and super strength to shapeshift his elbows into thrusters for more powerful attacks or to morph his legs for better stability. Having more fine control over it, he's able to block weapons by changing areas of his body into a jaw and grab on templated attacks. He also can use gigantification when he's out of control in Kaiju form, where he grows bigger in size. Kafka is also able to generate from attacks and regrow back limbs, but doing so consumes his stamina. When he's out of control, Kafka's body can instantly regrow from his core after detaching from his body. Now, he can also use Kaiju localization sense, where he can sense Kaiju that appear near or already within the vicinity of his present whereabouts. He's also able to determine what type of Kaiju it is, as if he has encountered it before. More powerful Kaiju can trigger this ability even when Kafka is not transformed. Now, the list of equipment that we've seen Kafka in when he's wearing his Release Force suit is obviously the Release Force combat suit itself, a respirator that he wears when he's on the battlefield, a handgun, and a pocket knife. So that's all that he uses typically, because most of the time he just relies on his Kaiju form. And that's pretty much all we know of Kafka Habino right now. I'll be doing more videos like this on other characters as well as different Kaiju, so if you guys want videos on that, be sure to comment down below which character or Kaiju you guys would like me to explain. Like, once again, thank you guys very much for stopping by. If you watched this far, I really appreciate it. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you like to. I'll be putting out more videos like this. Once again, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.